What's up, folks? It's your boy Frank the Tank and the Buds here on the Podheads web show. Just doing a special little session to honor our fellow brothers and sisters who can't be here. Those happy Memorial Day to everyone, and especially those who have served and who have given the ultimate sacrifice for this country. I know that we get on and we talk shit about the government and we criticize, but I believe that's what part of being American is. We have the freedom to do that, to talk shit about our government and to have free speech because of those who have laid down their lives for us in previous wars. So I would definitely want to shout out to those people who have defended our right of freedom of speech. Sure. Anyway, let's put one in the air for them, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Same old. I got a bowl, you just told me before. I felt like I needed to roll something up. But you told me it's the thought that counts, right? It's
we put one in the air. Hashtag put one up in the air for anybody we really want to give real props to, right? So, and today, of course, we're going to put one up in the air. Whatever you got, your bowl, your pen, your blunt, your roach, whatever you got, put one up in the air for our heroes, for the people who died.
So if you're watching this, light up with us. And just take a second, take a few minutes to think about some of those who have just been in some shit. Let's be real about it. Have been in some shit for you, and they don't even know you.
Like shit you've played in Call of Duty, like things you play in video games. These people have actually been through, and there's no respawns. There's no let me hide in the corner and regenerate health. That doesn't exist.
I'll tell you what, let's get started because I think my story kind of encompasses a little bit of that. I watched a documentary on the Medal of Honor recipients, and there was about, I think, 10 stories, and every single one was purely badass. Exactly what you expect.
You don't just hand those things out, JB. I mean, you've got to go above and beyond the Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is pretty intense as it is. So to go beyond what's already required of you, being a soldier, being a fighter, is it's not easy.
Exactly. So I've been watching that. And I was like, man, I could pick any of these stories, and all these were cool. But I wanted to do something a little different. I started Googling about like multiple recipients. There are a handful of people who have the who have gotten the Medal of Honor twice. Most in the 1800s during the Civil War. There were several soldiers who got it twice, but during that search, I found a medal recipient of honor who I thought, for the times, right? There's still a lot of race. Race is still a big thing in the United States, and especially earlier. I'll just go ahead and say that Black people were required to fight for their country, and yet at home were seen like less, you understand, they were hated on, spit upon, and stuff like that. So that to me kind of resonated because the guy that I got, his name's Henry Johnson, was exactly that, a Black guy, and was hated on. Henry Johnson was a Black soldier in World War I, and in World War I there were very few African American units. He was part of the very first one. In the U.S., racism was very strong back then. So they were separated from the rest of the unit. They were given their units, but then they were separate. So they were shipped off to France. That basically helped the French. He gets out there. Long story short, guys, he's out on an outpost just searching, and one day by himself he basically gets stormed by at least, the numbers could be more, by at least 24 Germans. He had one rifle, a few grenades, and a knife, using hand-to-hand combat, all right, and sustaining over 21 injuries, bro. Shots, stabs, hand-to-hand combat. This guy not only killed at least 24 German, but he rescued one of his fellow soldiers. Okay, brought him back, and boom, bang, there you go. I mean, I'm not doing the story justice, but you can imagine a single guy in World War I getting overrun. And World War I was very close combat. All right, remember trench warfare. Like, unless you have mortars, you got to get real close. And there you go, guys. This guy's literally just took 24 dudes on. Like, what would you do in that situation? You're in World War I. You got a I don't know, I would say a musket, but a one rifle, which I think he didn't even have bullets. Once you run out of bullets, he didn't have it. He used his butt, just taking out dudes. Pop, 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 pop. What would you do?
Shit my pants.
Exactly. I would be dead right now.
Yeah. On a side note of that, I just saw 1917 last night. I was in the spirit and whatnot. Incredible movie if you haven't. It's a World War I, so it just made me think about that. and about just being alone out there. Crazy.
Yeah, and the reason I picked him is because he didn't get his props. You know, in America, racism was this. You know, it was all over the place. The French, bro, they didn't care about that. This guy was a hero to that. He got a French cross, a bunch of medals from the French. It wasn't until 2015 that Barack Obama posthumously gave him the Medal of Honor. And I think that's why this is important, because for 100 years, this guy, did. There are records of people. I forget the son of a president. It might have been Eisenhower or something. Said this guy was one of the top 5 bravest people in World War I. You understand? But because he was black, he wasn't even given recognition in his own unit. Okay, so to me, that just resonated with me. Like, that probably still happens, but definitely happened before. How many soldiers of color, they died doing like gangster guerrilla true Medal of Honor stuff and didn't even get recognized because of their color?
It
and
definitely still exists, for sure, bro. It was only 110 years ago ish. I mean, of course it still exists. It's sad, but that's unreal. Like Frank said, I want to say, I'd go ape shit and just kill them all, but who knows? That's insane, bro.
Yeah, that's what I think about today, Memorial Day. But putting myself in the shoes, we said it earlier, I don't consider the government and the military the same, because he wasn't thinking about his color. He was thinking about his homeboy. He was thinking about his people behind them. When you're in war, that color really goes away. Like, it's a fraternity, brothers and sisters. And I bet you he was just doing selfless, over the top stuff that got him the Medal of Honor. He didn't die. The story really gets sadder because he was black. In 1920, he ended up being homeless and broke and died alone somewhere in 1929. So a true hero, again, because of his race, really got the shit end of the stick. And that's my hero, guys. That's my story, man. I would be dead. I wouldn't even think. I would retreat. Like, my instinct would be run. Like, it'd be crazy.
Johnson? You said Henry Johnson?
William Henry Johnson.
William Henry Johnson. Definitely put one in the air for William Henry Johnson. I like that. Lesser known hero. Very cool. Nice.
Yeah.
See, Money, what you got, bro?
Well, I have a different perspective. I've been playing this game called Civilization 6, right? It came out for free. It's on Epic Games for like another day. And this game literally teaches you, more or less, in a very immersive, incredible way, that of going from civilization, a campfire with a barbarian, to modern day, getting to space and all this crazy stuff. And the point I'm getting at is, bro, obviously you have to engage in war in this game. Now, I also listen to Jocko Willink's podcast. Shout out to Jocko Willink. That guy is a savage of a human. And I don't understand how.
Navy SEAL guy, right?
Yeah, he's the Navy SEAL commando in the Battle of Ramadi, which was like the worst place to be during the Iraq War. And that guy was the commander of the Navy SEALs, and he wanted to be a commando since a little kid. Now, I don't understand how that's the same human as me. Like, I've never said to myself, I think I'm going to be a commando in the Navy SEALs. Like, this guy said, since he was a kid, I just knew this was what my destiny. Like, so my point is like, when you're over there, dude, and I just can't fathom being literally just an infantryman on the field in the middle of, let's say, a desert, for sake of whatever. But World War II is also like a really, really big wonder for me. Yeah, but I just can't imagine being an infantryman in modern day war, 1942 war, whatever the hell.
You said World War II, I said World War I. I hate to say, lack of a better word, but it is better to be warring now. You understand, right, than it was at any time beforehand, and you keep going back and back. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the Middle Ages getting stabbed.
World War I and II, they froze to death because there just wasn't enough clothes.
Exactly. Exactly. But to that point, the heroes still kind of emerge everywhere, right? Whether it was in the 1500s, 1800s, 1900s, whether they have machine guns or a machete, I think it's the same human. It's the same human instinct. Like, I'll say it brings me back to the brotherhood. Jock, I bet you he'll say, he thought of his Navy SEALs first. Like, he didn't think of himself. That I think that is everybody who's in the front line. So you say you couldn't imagine. I never got to be in the front lines, but I can imagine saying, all right, guys, let's go. I'm going to do this for you. You got my back. I got your back, and leave no one behind, right?
It's going into the
that's
unknown.
The definition of heroes, right?
Going into the unknown. And I brought up, again, I don't obviously think anywhere near real life is close to a fucking video game. Let's make no mistake. The point I was making is when I'm like in these ships sailing on the coast in this game, approaching the unknown because of the fog of war, I have what intel I've gathered, what I could, but I'm really sailing up on this coast and I have no idea what to expect. And it's just like the beach in Normandy. Like, you know, so again, so saying like Frank, I assume could relate, just approaching the unknown, just going for it. You have the intel, but you know.
What is that? What is right there, right at the cusp of battle, of war? What is the feeling? What is the mentality? What does it take?
Yeah, you know what? It definitely takes something. It takes a little something more, right? I mean, I can't sit here and say that that anybody would act the same, but I think that most people, you know, you're just reacting. You know, you know, a lot of these guys who have won the Medal of Honor said this could have been any one of the guys in the unit. I just happened to
be the one.
So.
Yeah. And I said it earlier. Imagine all the stories that haven't been told, man.
Yeah. Oh, they train you for that. You know what I mean? But it definitely, you got to have your shit together pretty tight to do some of the things that these guys have done. I mean,
yeah.
Anyway, my guy, two-time Medal of Honor recipient.
There you go.
Yeah. Just because he got to stunt Marines. I'm very proud of the Marine Corps. I'm very proud of my service and those before me. I named my dog after a famous Marine. I almost named him after this guy, but I just thought the name would have been too horrible. No, too horrible. No, I named my dog Chesty after
That's
Chesty
pretty
Puss.
Marine.
That's a Marine. But this guy's name is Dan Daly. He is a two-time Medal of Honor recipient, a lifetime Marine, and a general badass. He was known for quoting the term. He was known for a famous quote where, I don't know if you guys ever heard this, but in World War I, during the Battle of Belleau Wood, where the Marines earned their names, the Devil Dog, he was, I guess, witnessed as jumping up and telling his men, "Come on, you sons of bitches! Do you want to live forever?" After they're like pinned down, he jumps up and says, "Come on, you sons of bitches! You want to live forever?" and starts a charge. Saved everybody's asses. So badass. But anyway, so I'm gonna give you a quick story, and I just wanted to. I got it right here in a graphic, so I'm just gonna read from it here. So he's only one of two Marines to win two Medals of Honor. He was first awarded during his actions of the Battle of Peking, which is now Beijing, and this was during a little-known war called the Boxer Rebellion in 1900. Right. This was against China. Private Daly's unit managed to take this wall that was very important. It's called the Tartar Wall. Well, his unit left him there to guard the wall while they went to go get supplies and other weapons and whatnot. So the Boxers counterattacked that night, and he single-handedly held off over 200 enemy soldiers. Yeah, he killed or wounded 200 of them. So this isn't just a story. This is body count. You know what I mean? That's one person on 200. It's just
nuts. Yeah,
crazy. Bro.
I mean, that's what Medal of Honor is, against extraordinary odds, like a normal human being probably could.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's Terminator shit, man.
Yeah, right. His second Medal of Honor was awarded at Fort Dipity during the occupation of Haiti during the Banana Wars. So in the engagement daily, he was a gunnery sergeant by this time. So he's already got a Medal of Honor and survived. Most people, you said, get the Medal of Honor posthumously.
After the fact, yeah.
So this guy survived one already. Years later, he's a gunny now. He leads 35 Marines, 35 Marines against an attack of 400 K. So these are like rebel soldiers in Haiti, dude. Not a single Marine casualty.
Wow, imagine that. That doesn't happen today. I mean, very rarely that does happen. That's gangster.
So kept his guys alive, took on 400 rebels, and made it through. He would have 3 Medals of Honor for that previous thing in World War I told you about, the Battle of Belleau Wood, but he was given a Navy Cross instead. So general badass, absolutely.
They didn't want to give him the Jordan treatment here just because he already got 2. Don't want to give him 3. Like, No, I all props. Definitely put one up in there because
I don't live through one, but lived through two and almost got a third. So,
dude, it's got to be. Is it something in their brain? Is it genetically something they have different, or is it just they decide, fuck it? You know.
I think again, I said that I think a lot of people would do it because in this documentary, marijuana, these are different people from all walks of life: white, black, Asian, Hispanic, in all different sorts of wars, all different sorts of positions, like jobs. I mean, I just think it's the circumstances, and Frankie said it. It could have been anyone. It just happened to be me in that situation. Everybody would do the same thing, and I just happened to kill. How do you say him against how many? 200? I can't imagine.
That's nuts.
After 10, I would be tired.
Look at the Spartan thing. I mean, it goes back to
die anyway. So you just keep fighting until
that's true.
And
That's
all of a
true.
sudden, you're like,
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I guess adrenaline and your training, right? Your training. They say your training kicks in if you practice.
One important thing that they say they drill into Marines' heads from day one. Is one shot, one kill. And if you're a Marine like myself, you know that is putting your head one shot, one kill. Conserve your ammo. If you're gonna shoot, make it count. So we're not just letting you kill. You take one guy out one round, you move on. If you're against 200 people, and I'm not even sure that was a saying back during the time, but if you're going against 200 people, ammo, that's important.
I have to imagine that it was a lot of hand-to-hand combat in previous wars, up close and personal, and that to me is even more.
Yeah, they were savages, bro. Like even the guys in the Civil War, bro. Those dudes were savages. They were probably fighting their own family members sometimes in some of the battles, and they would have to just like, dude. But it goes, and I'll stop after this because we don't have long. But dude, remember I was telling you guys about back in ancient Roman times in the Colosseum, there were warriors that were known to kill elephants, hippos, rhinos, 20, 30 in a day. And not every warrior could do, not every gladiator could do that, or barbarian. It was only some. You can Google their names. I don't know these crazy names, but that's what I mean. I think there's something.
Like in every generation, there's a bunch of men who are just fucking
savages,
badass, and they just find a way to come out.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, Chuck Norris. I mean, I'll give it to him. Texas Walker Ranger.
But yeah, so again, put one in the air. If you, all my fellow potheads out there are buds, take some time when you're lighting up, when you're rolling up, and just think about, maybe do some research. That's how we remember these people. These guys live forever through our memory. And it would be a disservice to let them go unthought of on a day like this. So shout out to all those veterans from past and present, and especially those who, that's what Memorial Day is all about, those who gave their lives for this country. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Not barbecues and pool days. I don't know how it came to that, but it's not about fucking hamburgers and hot dogs.
It really isn't, and I'm fine. I'm fine as long as we take a second into memory, just kind of like what we're doing right here, like taking a second, make sure that the memory lives on, because directly because of the actions of these people are why we're sitting in front of this microphone talking shit. I mean, it's true, and you can't deny it. So definitely put one up in the air, guys. We're at the Podheads Web Show. For our heroes, happy Memorial Day, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.